Hi everyone, Chris here from IELTS Advantage with another one of our success stories. So today we're very lucky to have Vladimir, who's going to share his success with you guys so that you can learn from him and become successful yourself. So Vladimir, can you just introduce yourself first?
Hello, my name is Vladimir. I'm from Ukraine. I'm 32 years old, and I'm a construction manager. And I've been struggling with IELTS for a while, and well, I succeed eventually.
Good, good. So can you tell everyone a little bit about your IELTS journey? Like how many times did you do the test? How long have you been struggling with it? What scores were you getting?
Well, my first serious attempt to take IELTS took place in February 2018. It's been a year since now. Uh, and it took me like 8 times
Wow.
before before I passed the exam. And the problem was I couldn't reach zero point 0.5 zero point 0.5 point in writing or listening.
Hmm.
But mostly after the fifth time, it was only the writing that I had difficulties with. It has always been 6.5.
Hmm. Hmm. And what do you think were the, well, let's focus on writing first, and then we'll touch on listening if we have time. What do you think were the main differences between when you were struggling and when you got the score? What changes did you make?
Uh, the main change was that I got a lot of practice after I completed the course, the IELTS Advantage course. I done like 50 or 60. I wrote 50 or 60 essays and about the same amount of letters, and I tried to pursue the instructions. And I believe my weakest part was task achievement. After I have fixed that problem, that's what I believe that what made the change to better.
So when you say task achievement, specifically, what are you referring to? Because a lot of students, and you were probably one of these students, where you see these terms like task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource. When you hear task achievement, what do you think about?
Um, it is quite simple. It's just you have to answer the question directly. Nothing else, and just make it you answer it as precise as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did, and that's how it worked. And it sounds easy, but it's not in fact, because every time you try to add some good idea, you try to add some example, and then well, you think it's relevant, and then when you uh, analyze and oh no, it's not relevant, and uh, that's a big difference. When you learn how to do that quickly, then it makes a big change in progress.
Yeah, is I think a lot of students focus on grammar and vocabulary and linking words and structure, and they ignore the most important thing, which is did you answer the question?
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to someone who is maybe struggling with task achievement in task two?
Um, Planning is, I know it sounds like uh, 5 minutes.
Every single one of our success students, every single one say planning.
It is,
Every one
it
of
is.
them.
I started to do planning only on seventh, so eighth time, I guess. And uh, that's, well, I succeed finally, because I didn't plan much. I thought, okay, I just start writing, and then on the go, I will make up some ideas, and I will use some vocabulary, and that'll do. But it didn't. So you have to plan, you have to think on uh, how to answer the question as clear as possible,
Mhm.
and then it helps to write the essay.
And you're a construction manager. You probably know the benefits of planning and doing all those things before you start building. You need to get the quantity surveyors in and the architects and coordinate everything. It's exactly the same with writing an essay. The
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
the more time you spend planning, the less time you spend, being very confused about everything and changing your mind and not knowing where you're going. Planning just gives you I always say it's like Google Maps for your essay. You know exactly what you're doing, and it saves you a lot of time.
Yeah, I agree absolutely.
So, apart from planning, and everybody should know the importance of planning and why it is important. Uh, what did you do during the planning stage that helped you both with task achievement and just writing in general?
Uh, I try to pick the side. Usually, an essay expects you to pick a side and discuss it, or if it's an argument, then well, there is always should be a clear idea,
Hmm.
and you have to make a decision on what you are going to write. And very important thing is to make up the examples.
Hmm.
That's what also that was always a trouble for me, and uh, it doesn't have to be something like extraordinary. A simple example from which you can um, which you can describe and which you can offer for an examiner is works quite good. I know it sounds complicated, but in fact, after a big amount of practice, it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, keep it simple, as you have probably heard me say 50,000 times.
Yeah.
But what advice would you give to, because many students struggle with examples? What advice would you give when it comes to examples?
Um, Try to think it from your experience or from what you have heard or listened. It also matters a lot if you have read some news and some. Well, you're not like a closed mind guy, and you just have to um, watch the news and be uh, on the same page with the world's latest trends, and that helps. It
Mhm.
it it helps you to make up with the idea quite quick, quite fast.
Mm. That's one of the things we tell all our students is just read the news for 10 minutes or 15 minutes a day, and you'll find news stories on those common task two topics like technology, health, education, the environment. You just read one of those stories a day, you're improving your ability to not only think of examples, but also think of ideas, develop those ideas, and also vocabulary. Your vocabulary will really improve as well if you read every day. And it only takes like 15 minutes while you're sitting on the bus or at lunchtime or waiting to go to bed or whenever it is, but it really does make a difference. So planning and examples, anything else apart from that that would help people?
Um, Except for the task achievement, I believe that my grammar was quite weak, and it's as I found out, it is a big problem for the vast majority of students. I mean, the punctuation, articles, and something else, uh, and
Prepositions, it goes
verb agreement, the
verb
verb
subject
agreement.
agreement.
I
Yeah.
mean, conditionals and all that stuff. If you're not very good at it, it is better not to use it. And
Hmm.
uh, articles and punctuation, it's just a matter of practice
Yeah.
and instant learning. You learn, you practice, and then it works quite well.
And did you focus more on expanding the range of grammar or focusing on the accuracy of your grammar, which helped you improve your score?
After I submitted some essays for correction, I was told that I have problems exactly with the punctuation and articles. That was the biggest problem. That's what I focused on.
Hmm.
I surfed the web and tried a lot of different exercises, and well, I guess that helped.
Hmm.
So
Because
now,
most people are like you, they're just weak in one or two or maybe three areas. So for you, it was articles. and punctuation, and articles and punctuation are in every single sentence. So if you have a problem with them, you're making mistakes in every sentence, and that is not only dragging your grammar score down, but it can affect your coherence and cohesion as well, because your sentences are not as clear as they could be. So instead of trying to learn everything about grammar, just focus on those weak areas. Just like if you were fixing a car, you wouldn't. My car is broken at the minute. I ran over a log and broke the underside, the undercarriage. But we shouldn't try and fix the steering wheel or the windows.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the problem. The problem is the undercarriage, and we just need to fix that part. Same with grammar. Figure out what's the problem and fix that problem.
Exactly, and that's what keeps 99% of test takers from that 0.5 band score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in general, figuring out why you're not getting the score you need, and fixing those problems, and that's the way I try. And I really like that fixing a car analogy. But you don't try and fix the whole car; fix the parts that need fixing.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, apart from that, any other advice?
Another thing that really helped me is watching the English language video streaming services like Netflix and YouTube and TED Talks. All that. I try to record every single word that I didn't know, and I did that vocabulary book.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you have a big vocabulary book now?
No, I had like 6 or 7 pages.
Not bad.
About 200 words or so. But those words, I tried to pick the words that would be like very useful for IELTS, and I used some of them, like juvenile delinquency, and that is a fancy word. I remember it.
Yes, I mean it's an English test at the end of the day, and it always amazes me how many people say, "I want a band 7. I want to go to Canada and live and work in Canada, but I don't ever listen to English, read in English, speak in English, or write in English." It's like it's an IELTS test, yes, but it is an English test primarily. So if you want to improve your IELTS score, you need to be focusing not only on test strategy and getting feedback on your work, but improving your general English at the same time.
Yeah, in the bottom line, it helps the other parts of the test. Like it helped to improve my listening enormously. I improved from 7.5 to 9. That was my final band, and I was surprised. And also it helped reading. Well, although I didn't have problems with reading, I sometimes read those subtitles, and that helps to develop some techniques and read skimming and all that stuff that is quite useful for a test.
And also remember, the reason why you're taking the test is to move to Canada and get a job. And you don't want to go to Canada and sit in your house with your wife every day and only speak in your native language. You want to go out and meet new people and get involved in the community, and job interviews and speaking to your coworkers. It just makes your life so much easier.
Exactly.
And it doesn't stop at when we finish with helping someone with their IELTS test. It's just the beginning of their journey, because your life is going to be so much richer. And you told me you have 2 daughters. They're going to be speaking fluent English, and you want to be listening into what they're saying, especially when they're teenagers,
I know.
Band 9 in listening.
Yep, that I was amazed. That was my top score, and
so you got 9 in listening, reading 8, was it?
It was also 9 and 9 reading, 9 listening, 7 writing, and 7.5 in speaking.
Excellent. 9 in reading and listening is fantastic. A lot of native English speakers would not get 9. so well done. So your plans are to move pretty soon to Canada?
Well, I think I still have a year or 9 months ahead because it takes time to gather the information and to get a decision. So I'm on the move, but I believe a year maximum. And
Sure. But now you've got that piece of paper. You know,
oh yeah,
I've been there. I've moved with my wife from Vietnam over to here, and I know that it's a stressful process. But once you get it done, it's much, you know, it's much better. But it's just stressful with all the
it is.
applications and pieces of paper and all that. But once you get it done, you'll have a much better life, I think. So, and it's a pleasure to help you out with that.
I'm extremely grateful for that experience, and well, that is really valuable. Then it is. Well, I spent a year trying to get the band I needed, and then only like 2 months or so of hard work,
Yeah,
but work on things that are really needed to be worked on,
yeah.
and I got the result.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that many people who we speak to, they they say we want to join your course, but you know it's too expensive or it's too much hard work, and then they go like you and fail the test 6, 7 times, and they spend thousands of dollars and months and months and months, and then they come back and they say, okay, now I'm ready to to do what you want me to do, because we don't work with people who you know who won't do the work, because it just the way our course is, you know, you have to do the work,
Right.
because you know, and I'm sure you appreciate that that's the only way to do it, you know.
Yep. And it is worth it. Then I spent like 2.5 grand for the test, for the transportation, for lodgement, and because I had to go to another city every time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, people think that I'm saying this to for marketing or something and to try and get people to join. I'm just like, I'm telling you the truth. Like if you because we hear it every day from our students who say, I spent 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 failing the test. And you know, I wish I had came to you 6 months ago or a year ago. So, you know, I can only tell the truth. that's that's all I can do. So, Vladimir, thank you so much for sharing your story. The advice that you gave about writing will really, really help people, and the general advice that you gave to people. And hopefully, your story is a bit of a warning for other people that instead of, you know, trying to do it, you know, the wrong way, just
mhm.
try to focus on what you need to do and get it done, and everything becomes much easier. So, good luck in Canada, and
Thank you.
if you need any advice in the future about moving to Canada, or you know, and I'm sure you won't need that much help, but if you do, you can get in touch with me. I'm happy to help you out.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.